Good afternoon. I would like to call to order the meeting of the Wilmington Cable, Video, and Telecommunications Commission for Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. I'm Trippy Congo, President of City Council and Chair of the Cable, Video, and Telecommunications Commission. First, I'd like to do a roll call of the CBT committee members. Commissioner Letitia Bracy. Commissioner Field.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Fields and Commissioner Cabrera have been excused. Commissioner Parikh. Here. Commissioner Kelly Williams.
Present.
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Rago.
Here?
Commissioner Terrence Williams.
Present.
And Commissioner Goff.
Okay.
Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge others that are in attendance this afternoon. Michelle Bass-Knight, Senior Legislative Advisor and CFO for City Council. Wendell Ralston, Station Manager. John Stant, Assistant City Solicitor. Ivan Thomas, DTV. Horace Knight, EDTV Communications Specialist. And Anita Hawks, Legislative Admin Assistant. And also Amanda Robbins from WITN. If you can please review the draft minutes from the June 22nd, 2023 Cable, Video, and Telecommunications Commission meeting. I'll accept the motion to adopt the June 22nd, 2023 CBT minutes.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion has been moved and seconded to accept the June 22nd, 2023 minutes as adopted. New business. Wendell, if you can please provide an update report on the station's programming and operations. Well, Amanda? Oh, sorry, Amanda.
Hello, everybody. I'm Amanda Robbins, Acting Station Manager of WITN while Wendell is out. So, guys, you can go ahead and play the video, please. So I'm going to start with a quick programming update, and then afterwards I'll talk about a few other things. Okay, so our message board, we've had some changes here. We've updated everything daily. We also have new highlighted sections for employment, entertainment, health, traffic, all kinds of other good information. Now we're into our ongoing programs. This is our 2-minute drill. We do those when council members request them on various topics. So this one is Councilwoman Bracy wanted to talk about a town hall that was going on at the public library. We also have our regular news programming. This was a pep rally for my sister. I am my sister's keeper. And yeah, we will produce news stories on things that are going on in the community. We have some more examples here. This was Carvertise when they were opening. So we also do what we call WITN on the scene, which is when we do a press conference from front to back. It's unedited, so the constituents are able to see exactly what's going on without any kind of biased information. We also have Sights and Sounds, which is a program where we go out in the community, we just get a feel for an event, we get some visuals, we get literally some sounds, and we put it all together just so that there's information for the public to see. We've also done a few PSAs. This is one where they were doing a safe surrender event with the JP Court. So Councilwoman McCoy wanted to get that information to the public, so we helped them do that. This was a PSA for Parks and Rec, one of our greatest partnerships. He wanted to highlight a career expo that was going on last weekend. So we did a quick PSA to make sure, again, that that information got out. And this here is our Parks and Rec update, which is usually a monthly program where the director and deputy director of Parks and Recreation highlight some stuff that's going on. we also like to do those in local parks so that people can kind of see some of the upgrades and stuff that have been going on. So this is inside the district. We had Councilman Spadola highlighting a local business, Nestor. And we've done a lot of these. These are a really popular thing now with council members. We've had a lot of interest, but we've only shot with 3 council members at this point. So Councilman Spadola, Councilwoman Darby, and Councilwoman Fields have all done episodes with us. So these will just highlight local businesses in each person's district. And in Councilman Spadola's case, we call it the at-large edition, so it's just wherever he wants to be. So those are a few examples of our programming, but some other things that we have going on are our partnerships. We have a lot of those that are newer. So Christiana Care, we've developed a partnership with them where we've been airing their For the Love of Health podcast regularly. So they'll send us their most recent episodes and we'll put them on the station. So it's some good health information to get out. We also contacted the Wilmington Public Library, and we've been taking their streams of their speaker series, and we've been airing them on the station as well. So people who were probably in line and couldn't get in for these super popular events can still see them. We also have partnerships with the Brandywine School District, Wilmington Links, Newcastle County, and the state of Delaware. Recently, we've also done some special production videos for the Department of Human Resources. We did the SHRM conference. We did an intro video for them. We've done, as you can see, PSAs and updates with the Parks and Rec Department. We did a special PSA for the Newcastle County property reassessment, videos for Judy Johnson Night. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff to make sure that information that is really critical is getting out to the people that need it the most. In addition, our biggest charge is to do the city council and committee meetings. So we air all of those live. And to date, in 2023, we've done 54 committee meetings and 21 city council meetings. We also do Newcastle County Council committee meetings and their regular council meetings, which is actually a paid service from them. And we have done 97 meetings to date in 2023 with them. We also have some plans to expand our paid services because the Newcastle County partnership has been really great for us. We do things with them every Tuesday, so it's nice to have, to be able to offer our services for a charge. So that's also something that we plan to talk more about and expand. We also have federal government videos that are being aired right now. So we will pull videos from NASA, the Justice Department, Department of the Interior, and the CDC, again, because we are the local government station, so we want to make sure that government information is getting out. And as far as our social media presence, we maintain YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram pages, and our newest addition is Newsbreak. Saquon has created an account for us, and he posts very regularly there. We've gotten, I can actually look at the number for you. Our total views on Newsbreak are 1.4 million. We have hundreds of likes, thousands of views, so it's a really nice way to get our local stuff out there, because people from, if they're from out of town and they come in, Newsbreak is kind of a geolocated thing, so things will pop up and they'll see what's actually going on. So that's really everything I have, unless anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Amanda. Are there any questions from any committee members? Ms. Basnight?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not a commissioner, but just wanted to ask one question. How many vacancies do you have? It's actually a two-part question, and does that impact any of your programming?
Yes, so we have one vacancy at this point, but we are down a couple of positions. So initially, I think we were at 8 or 9. We're down to 6 at this point, which is still very minimal for us. We do rely heavily on freelancers because especially for all these meetings that we do, there's just not enough staff to do as many as we do. And they have to be trained very specifically to work in the control room environment. So it has been difficult to hire, and it does stop us from doing more live programming. We used to have live talk shows and stuff like that, but at this point, without the reliability of knowing someone will be there, because freelancers, they choose what assignments they want to do. It's based on their availability. So if we don't know that every Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock when we're trying to do a live program, if we have enough people, it's just not something we can produce at this point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any questions from the public? All right, thank you. As always, Amanda, we just really appreciate you and your team. We definitely appreciate you for stepping up while window was out. Your job well done.
Thank you so
Not
much.
a beat was skipped. At this
Thank you.
time, next on the agenda, we're going to have an update from the Rick Clay Consolidated School District regarding the operations of the Educational Access Channel by Horace Knight. Mr. Markopoulos is no longer with Red Clay with the school district, but I do want to appreciate his support over the years with the oversight and management of the education channel. Welcome, Mr. Knight.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. So as Mr. Congo mentioned, Rob Markopoulos, who was our EdTV producer, is no longer with the district. He's taking a position in the corporate world. So we are in a transition period where the job has been posted for the last 2 weeks. It closes on Friday with education. We expect the hire to happen hopefully before the start of the new year. So currently we are, the channel is still running, fully operational, but we are mixing some shorter first run programming as well as replaying some programs that was created throughout the year. So if we go to the first slide. Next slide, please. Oh, and I'll backtrack, pardon me. My name is Horace Knight. I am the Red Clay Consolidated School District's communications specialist. So I'm the person that is doing the majority of the marketing and promotions for the content that you see on that TV and on social media, and maintaining social media channels and the websites for Red Clay. And as shown, we are seen on Comcast 965 and Fios Channel 30. If we go to the next slide, I mentioned some of our programming, how we're mixing to maintain until we can fill the role, which is currently in progress. So on the next slide, you'll see some of our shows. Pardon me, I have Invisalign, it's new, so it's a little bit of a, so pardon that small list you hear there. But Sci Show is a science show that we actually get from public access on YouTube. It airs weekly, and that show focuses on our elementary school kids. The Book Nook is an original Red Clay program where we talk to our Red Clay librarians, students, and staff, and they recommend their favorite book. This show airs every Tuesday, and it's a theme show, and it's also it goes to YouTube as well. CNN Student News, is another show that is pulled from YouTube through public access, so that show is there as well. The Good Stuff is a recap, of all our Red Clay shorts that we do. We do a lot of short filming with cell phones or with cameras, so more so 10 minutes or less to capture the audience that is on social media. And The Good Stuff is a recap where we have a host, and it goes through and shows 4 or 5 of the shows per episode. The Red Clay Cook-Off is a cook-off show that we've done in the past, so we have been showing some episodes of that to make sure that we fill our time. Project Soapbox is the opportunity that gives our middle school students a chance to have their unedited or to speak their voice to a topic without them being told what to say. So it's part of the Mythica Challenge. And then the Education Station is what you see in the picture there. Is a bus that we have that was transformed into a confessional in the back. So when we have events, the bus comes out. There's a question that's posed, and you can go in and answer the question, and those responses are created into a show that we air, depending on the topic that's happening that day. So that is a mix of our current programming that is, a mix of old shows and some first run programs. Next slide, please. I mentioned that we're doing a lot of shorts now until we can fill the role and to have a full-time producer. So some of the things that you'll see on the show is esports is a hot topic amongst schools and colleges now, whereas AI High School has created a pathway. So we showcase our esports throughout the district. There's a ballet, which is titled The Arts of Education, Valuable Schools Through Life. So just discussing how arts can help and promote education. A Beautiful Tomorrow is a speaker series where they travel around, so that's is airing. Hero Days is where Clay, we have our first responders come to our elementary schools, whether it be police, fire, EMS, and have our students just show their appreciation and thank you for all they do. The Mythica Challenge is part of the Project Soapbox, whereas, again, students are given the opportunity to speak into existence, their agenda and what's happening in their daily lives. Red Clay Block Party is another short that we do. It's a yearly event, whereas it's a community event, and we've had, this is our second year in this format. Last year we had about 2,000 people. This year we had about 5,000. So it has grown tremendously. So that show is currently airing. We do a Red Clay Leadership Summit every year where the students are supervised, but they conduct the creation and the agenda of the summit, and that summit is presented and it's something we've shown. Hispanic Heritage Month just ended in October, and we've done several shorts around that as well. Pause for People is we have therapy animals that come to our school and work with our students. And lastly, Don't Rush the Red is a series that we do to promote just understand that, if the school bus has a stop sign out, please do not pass the school bus. So that's something that we've done more than once. If we go to the next slide, in between any show that's airing, we do what we call community slides. For the most part, they have been Red Clay. It's been open to the public, and we pulled some other school districts, but it is promoting what is happening or what is upcoming within the school district. If we go to the next slide. So in the future, Red Clay is always airing educational content. Previously, Mr. Markopoulos would get content from Colonial School District. We reach out to others. It hasn't been as successful, but we are, everything that airs on the channel is for free, and we are always looking for new content, and we try to increase the partnership, and it's been hit or miss, if we're being honest here. In terms of content, as stated, we're showing 4 programs, and we've also started to utilize our social media to promote. So on social media, you may see a 30-second clip of the 20-minute show that's running, or a half-hour show that's running, but clips tend to go viral more. So we started doing those to promote what's happening. We were in the process of working on an unnamed speaker series where we have take our bus out to the city and have people speak, and then they can respond on the bus. That is currently on hold for the time being until we can fill the role to get back to that full time, but that is happening. And also, so we have social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but we're utilizing YouTube a lot more. In general, TV stations are putting their content on YouTube, so we're doing the same thing to cross-promote what's happening on the channel and on social media. Next slide, regarding content, Ms. Alba Mobley, unable to attend today, but she is our Chief Communication Officer. Her email is there. Myself, Horace Knight, the Communications Specialist. Our social media for EdTV is EdTV_Red Clay, and we are Red Clay schools across the board. That is currently where we are. Any questions regarding EdTV and Red Clay?
Thank you, Mr. Knight. Are there any questions from any committee members? Ms. Bass Knight?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just a question. For any of your programs, do y'all, do you segue about like college scholarships, any of those types of programs?
So we haven't done a specific college scholarship program. We have done shorts of signing days and promoting people that are going to college, and we've done our college and career fair, but we have not done a full show based directly around what you can do in or how to get scholarships for college.
And one other question, Chair.
Yes.
And also, are the students producing or any of the students producing the shows from the beginning to the start to give them the experience with exposure with editing and script writing?
So, full transparency, we have pathways in each school, and we do receive some content. we would like to get more, but it is 25% or less of the content that you see on the channel.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other commissioners?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yes.
So I think I heard you correctly that you said Red Clay is your primary person, group that you use?
Yes. So the channel is housed in Red Clay at Thomas McCain High School.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not speaking into the mic. And you said that you were looking to expand that to other districts as well? Or?
Well, so the channel reaches all Newcastle County, which encompasses other school districts. So, Red Clay houses the channel and does the majority of the content, but it is not Red Clay specific. So we've tried to partnership in the past. It's been, some goods, it's been a journey.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Just in terms of, because you have to be able to create the content. In terms of, video production is not something that takes a little time. It takes a lot of time to get things done, to create, and also to be consistent with creating content. But we are open to always receiving content, reviewing content that's educational based to air on the channel. Yes.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other commissioners have any questions, comments?
Mr. Chair, I have a comment.
Yes.
I want to just congratulate Red Clay for this education channel is important. They've done some fine work over the years, so I just want to congratulate them for continuing to do this work. And I didn't have a chance to say something with Amanda previously for the work that Amanda, Wendell, and all of the WITN team are doing. It's really tough. It's tough to run a station to begin with, and it's also tough to run a station where you have essentially 13 elected officials. But they do a very nice job of trying to share information. So congratulations, and as a member of the commission, I'm very proud that we opened these stations up for the public. They were there for us to make that decision to share them with the public, and the vendors that we have in place are doing a really nice job. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other commissioners?
Oh, Mr. Chair, I did have one more comment.
Yes.
If I may I ask the representative from Red Clay, do they promote the HBCU program?
So we were at the event. We do promote it, but more so on our social media than the actual, because we don't have the content to share the videos. But we do share it on our channels, and we have students that attend as well. So we're there.
Oh, okay.
We're there
right,
doing
well,
social media content, more Instagram reels and shorts. But if there is full content that can be shared, we don't have access to it.
Okay, well, we'll make sure if you need access to video, we can certainly make sure that you have
Thank you.
have the video to be used. I think it's very important to share with the children at a younger age.
Agreed.
So thank you again.
We will email you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rego. Any other commissioners have any comments or questions? Any comments or questions from the public? All right, thank you. All right, thank you again, Mr. Knight, for everything that you and your team are bringing to our
Thank you
county.
very much. I
Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Next on the agenda is an update from DETV, the third-party operator for public access lease access by Ivan Thomas. Welcome, Mr. Thomas.
Good afternoon. How's everybody?
All right.
All right. First, let me say congratulations to WITN and Red Clay. This media thing is a hard game, but they've been doing a heck of a good job. So congratulations to them on behalf of DETV. DETV. It's been 5 years, I think, when we first sat in this room, and since then we've done. I like to say we've done some amazing things for the community, for the youth, for the seniors, for residents of Wilmington and beyond. So if we can roll the slideshow. Okay, so I'm gonna run it through it real fast. Okay, all right. Yep, go ahead and play. All right, so what we've done at DETV is the same thing we started out, but we just intensified it a little bit more, starting with, we're on all the social media channels. Our shows go down to our first show we'd like to introduce you to, and you've probably seen, is Good Morning Wilmington. Good Morning Wilmington is hosted by myself and Vincenza. Cardieri Russo, and what it is we're talking to nonprofits, business owners, residents of Wilmington, residents of Delaware, about things that's going on in the community. It's growing, and I'm super excited about it because it's not what I thought it was going to be. For something that started in the basement to now, we are the trusted source that people go to see what's happening on in Wilmington. This show airs twice a week. We are gearing up to go 5 times a week. But it's super exciting. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit of fast forward. So organizations such as the Grand Opera House and the Playhouse comes to promote events that's going on. We bring them on as guests. Brian Shoup, Representative Brian Shoup came on the other day, donated $1,000 to the Big Ive Turkey Drive, formerly known as the Storm and Norman Turkey Drive. This is the way that we get information out to the community. The beautiful thing about this is, and I'm going to touch on it briefly, but I'll come back. We have the way that our content goes out is one, live on TV, not just in Newcastle County, but statewide and throughout Delaware. At the same time, we're going up to 30 different social media channels at the exact same time. That's a heck of a reach. That's 40,000 on our platform, and so all our shows go out like that. Initial shows, even our least access shows. Okay, it'll go to the next one, and then bring you DETV News, a baby of mine that we've created. We saw that Delaware didn't have like a designated news show, so we did what? We created one. We're tired of outsourcing and we're tired of getting stuff from Philadelphia, letting them tell our stories. We believe that we need to tell our own stories, and that's highlighting the good and not highlighting the bad, but just mentioning the bad with the end of it, highlighting what people need to do to fix the bad. So you can see Red Clay, we had the referendum. We have a series of, I want to say, 15 independent freelancers, independent contractors, and 9 employees. So we are creating jobs at DETV. The 2 people that you just saw was Lauren Wilson and Matt Ford, which are our news anchors. We also created a sports show. And DETV Sports, we have Matt on the left, Nick in the middle, and Jason McCall on the right. And they show up every Monday night at 7:30 to do a live sports show to talk about Delaware and national sports. Where we're going to go into after the new year is more local sports, so we can highlight students and athletes of the week and so on and so on. Great show for the sports enthusiasts. They definitely love it. And again, it goes out on our same distribution platform. And that's one thing that we really recognize what we have is distribution. Here's a commercial that I created for DART that we shot in-house for DETV. And this is one of the shows that we're super proud of with the producer behind me, Tim Fontaine, is Hola Delaware. Hola Delaware is for our Latino brothers and sisters that live in this beautiful state and beyond. And what that is, that's Jasmine Bouquet, our host of Hola Delaware. And again, talk show format. And she sits with local leaders, nonprofits, so on and so on. And it works extremely well. I would have to say it is actually growing to be the most watched show on DETV, and we're not surprised, but it's definitely taking a big toll on it, and we love it. Again, what we're learning to do is what we learned to do, and we're totally going hard with is taking long form content, shortening it down to short form content, and then pushing it out through social media as twice as hard as we're putting it on broadcast TV. All right. Next one is, the Congo Hour, the least access moment. The Congo Hour. We brought the Congo Hour back maybe 7 months now. 7 months. Been going strong. That wasn't me.
That was definitely
That wasn't me.
That was you.
That wasn't me. No, it wasn't. Oh, there you go. The Congo Hour, hosted by Trippy and Wayna. Beautiful show. Definitely a community-oriented show. People love it. Airs every Sunday night at what time, Trip?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. All right. The Agenda is one of my shows as well that we created. It's a political show. It's Republican, Democrat, Independent. We're totally unbiased. People need to make their own decisions. That's what we believe at DETV. Our job is to present the information to you so you can make a good choice and a good decision. Congresswoman Lisa Blunt is a huge fan. Senator Coons is a huge fan. And today at 11:30, if you watch NBC, you saw Senator Brown on NBC out of the DETV studios. Let's see. Next up. Okay, that was just Good Morning Wilmington right there. Outside of that, can you fast forward just a little bit for me? Okay, I think that might be it. But outside of that, we also created DETV Kids. DETV Kids is it's similar to PBS Kids, Sesame Street. It's kids programming, and I would love to talk to Red Clay on how we can work together and we can produce. Because I know there's a lot of issues with trying to find producers and people in the industry, but we're here. And maybe even if we could partner with WITN and partner with Red Clay, the idea that I have in my head is the future. Where is Wilmington going to be in the next 5 years? What can we show in the next 5 years for the city of Wilmington? And together, when you have public access, which is us, you have lease access, which is us, you have government, WIT, and you have Red Clay, we have a perfect hodgepodge of community events and news that people that are trying to come to Delaware want to see, people that live in Delaware need, and people that live outside of Delaware, or which are Delaware residents, would love to see, right? So what we're doing this year with DETV is, one, social media, hit it 3 times as harder, and 2, streaming more on Roku and outside of just the social media platforms, so people could download the apps, watch it on their phone, and they could just pull up content from Delaware, not DETV, but content from Delaware. Also, I think that might be it. 600,000 homes in the state of Delaware, and another 40,000 online. Numbers are growing like crazy. And yeah, we're just happy to keep creating and doing what we do.
Earlier you mentioned the Big Eye Turkey Drive.
Yes.
You want to talk about that?
Sure. Big Eye Turkey Drive, this is our first year. Stormin' Norman's 40th year. He handed the baton down to me. And I was with him for about 7 years, just seeing how the Turkey Drive would go, not knowing that he was like, I'm tired, I'm done, here you go. So now what we're doing, Stormin' last year fed 24,000 people. He gave away 1,600 turkeys, I believe. This year, the Big Eye Turkey Drive is we're feeding 24,000 Delawareans. Yeah, it is going to be massive. But it's a great thing. I believe, I grew up in a neighborhood that people were hungry, and my dad used to always say to me, no one should be hungry, not in this country. So with the help of our friends, City Council, the Delaware Blue Codes, too many sponsors to acknowledge, we're going to feed 24,000 people for Thanksgiving. It starts at 8 o'clock at Hurley. So anyone watching now that want to come out, please come out. It's going to be a funeral. We like to call it not a funeral procession, but a turkey procession. We would go from senior high rise to senior high rise, and then all the Boys and Girls Clubs downstate, and the Delaware Blue Coats will be there with their team handing out turkeys. I believe the Wilmington Fire Department will be helping out as well. A bunch of citizens, the Kappas, the Alphas, the Qs, the D9 is going to be there. Everyone's going to be there. It's going to be the hottest ticket. One thing I also want to say thank you to is this summer, what we did this summer was, well, let me keep it 100 with you. I started DTV out my basement, and now we're in a position that we're just doing some great things. So at one point, we was like, we got to give back, we got to do. So I made a couple phone calls, and the city of Wilmington answered. Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall answered. And what we did this summer was something phenomenal. We were able to do our first cohort of DETV, our pathway program to teach kids broadcast journalism, TV production, cinematography, and we had 9 kids show up. And with those 9 kids, they had a 12-week class, and they walked away with a $500 stipend, and they also walked away with a camera which was provided by the city of Wilmington, cameras, microphones, lighting, and a tripod. Those kids are now, they have it set in their mind that when they get to high school, when they get to college, they're going for media. That's the power of media. So what we do is great, but what we really do is inspire the younger minds that, you know, they don't see people like us. They walk into a studio and they see, you know, like, oh my gosh, this is a black team. Lincoln University came down this summer, and that's what they saw. And they was more than inspired to see us working together, headsets on, rocking and rolling, and putting out a great piece. So I just want to say thank you for City Council and the City of Wilmington for what you've done, because that's how we make movement in Delaware, right? We show them that it's possible, and then we put them in a way to let them happen. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. For the turkey drive, how can people volunteer, or how can they be recipients?
You can go. Recipients are locked right now.
Are they? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But how you want to volunteer? Even if you want to make a donation, go to BigIvesTurkeyDrive.com. Hit the
Okay.
donate button, and you'll see you can donate there any amount. I'll take $1, 50 cents, whatever you got. God loves you, and you'll see the schedule of where we're going to be at for the entire day.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Do any commissioners have any questions or comments?
I do,
Yes.
Mr. Chair. I think Ivan, you should spell that out, Big Ives. Because
Okay.
lots of people aren't as cool as we all are.
Okay. That's BIGIVES
There you go.
turkeydrive.com.
Very nice. And if I may, I'm certainly not going to let this moment pass. As a commissioner, you know, that we have 3 channels that we authorize for use: government, education, and public access. And you have taken public access to heights that I don't think any of us ever dreamed we'd be able to do here in Wilmington. And you're right, we've been in the shadow of Philadelphia for many years, but now we have our own television station, and it's really nice. And you and your entire team, Ivan, should be congratulated for what you do and how hard you work. And I know you work hard, so congratulations.
Thank you. And I also want to say, it's my team. My team, they just I don't know how they deal with me, but they keep us moving. They keep us on the air. So my team, crazy shout out to my team.
Thank you. Any other commissioners have any questions or comments? Ms. Bassanight?
Yeah, just question. Is when you submit your usage tracking report, you track it by public, leased, and educational. Roughly how many live shows are done? Roughly, like last month, do you recall, or?
So what we did was
Okay.
we just moved all of our live shows because the workload has been extremely heavy for us. So we moved all our live shows, which on Monday. And the live shows, we do 2 tapings of Good Morning Wilmington. Excuse me. One is a live show at 10 o'clock. Actually, there's only 2 live. Is it 2 live shows? Yes, 2 live shows. That is Good Morning Wilmington, and I think it's just Good Morning Wilmington, because over the last 2 years, it's been extremely hard for live shows. Yeah.
That includes the live leased access as well, or is that mostly taped?
That's taped. Lease access is taped on Wednesdays and Thursdays for lease access.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And when it comes to the rate card, has that changed since you've been? Because
No.
it seemed like every time I look at it, it's the same from an exception.
Yep, we never changed it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to change it this year, though, because from beginning, and that we're talking about, it hasn't changed since 2019.
Right, that's the date.
Right, and that's a little crazy. So, but yeah, but we want to let people come in, but we have to change it this year because production value went through the roof, and we definitely need to bring in more people to help us get the work done.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other commissioners have any questions or comments? Anyone from the public? All right, thank you, Big Eye, for your presentation. Again, congratulations on everything
Thank
to you and your team.
Thank you all.
Next on the agenda is an update on the next steps for the cable franchise agreement.
Good afternoon. I promise this won't be as riveting. At the end of August.
I'm sorry, can you please introduce yourself? Thank
My name's John Stant. I'm an assistant city solicitor here in the city of Wilmington and counsel to the CVT Commission.
Thank you.
On August 31st, Mona, Marshall, and I met with a few Comcast representatives to hear some of their ideas on how to, to solicit our business. And one of the things that came up was a potential 5-year extension of the current cable franchise agreement. The one that was signed in 2012 was a 12-year agreement. I believe the winds have shifted, and Comcast seems to like shorter agreements. And what they, not really having any authority on the matter, what they said is, if we sign a 5-year extension, they wouldn't include any language regarding the new FCC in kind order, which may affect the amount of franchise fees that the city can collect from Comcast. If we sign a full new agreement, then they will put the new FCC language in. Their words, they don't have any intent on collecting any of these accounts, but again, this isn't a formal negotiation. It's just stuff that we discussed. We discussed the matter with outside counsel, and on September 28th, outside counsel informed Comcast that we liked the idea of potentially extending this agreement for 5 years. It's excuse me, it's more like a continuation rather than a renegotiation. It is cheaper for the city in terms of counsel fees and actual manpower in time spent negotiating. And outside counsel asked 2 questions of Comcast that we assume that, we're assuming that Comcast actually wants to incorporate the 621 order regarding in-kind fees, and we want confirmation from their counsel whether or not that's going to happen. The second would be, how would Comcast handle PEG support, particularly for studio rent? Currently, the agreement as written says that the Comcast will provide up to $60,000 annually for the studio payments, and excuse me, apparently that has fallen short, and the city has had to pull from its own revenue to fill in that gap. So we're hoping for a potential COLA increase on facility rental. That is the last we had heard from Comcast. We followed up on October 16th, and they said they are discussing our questions about PEG support and would get back to us. I presume with the upcoming holidays, we may not hear from them until mid-December. Assuming they say no, and we can't come to an agreement on continuing for 5 years, we can negotiate with Comcast to enter a new agreement. And as signed, the agreement that was completed in 2012 does not end until around this time next year in 2024. And if we can't come to an agreement by then the terms of the current agreement will just continue until a new agreement is reached. It's not that if we can't come to an agreement, our agreement with Comcast ceases. It just will continue on as is until we come to a new agreement. And those are my updates regarding the franchise renewal.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any comments or questions from any commissioners? Ms. Bassnight?
Yeah, I just want to just to state for the record is that our TPO contract expires, I want to say the end of March, which is also incorporated with the franchise agreement. But the other component to that is we also do a sublease of the studio at the Lancaster site, which is a separate agreement. So, we will be on the hook to lock in agreement with that site again. So I just wanted to mention that for the record as well.
Okay, thank you.
And also,
Yes.
I'm sorry, at some point, we don't know what the turning point is, but at some point, things would need to be renegotiated for a TPO. And that typically takes a process and easily takes 6 to 9 months. So I just want to bring that to the attention of the commissioner so that we're aware of timing.
All right, thank you, Ms. Basnight. Any other commissioners have any questions or comments?
I do.
Commissioner Rego?
If I may, Mr. Chair, may I ask Marshall a question?
Yes.
Marshall, when does the TPO on public access expire?
The TPO agreement expires the end of March.
Okay, end of March 2024.
Yes.
And if I can make one comment, just for those viewing this commission meeting, and by the way, I would have my video on, not that I'm anything to look at, but I would have it on, but I can't figure, it's stuck. It will not let me do video, so that's why it's just audio. But at any rate, for those watching this meeting, I think this whole thing with Comcast, it has to do with the money that comes into the city as part of the Comcast agreement. And I know Comcast has been figuring out ways to reduce the amount of money that we receive in the city of Wilmington as part of our franchise agreement. And so that's probably accounts for why they're just interested right now in not getting it into a long-term agreement, but rather wanting us to agree to a shorter-term franchise agreement. And so, as is in most cases, it's all about, you follow the money on these things. It's usually about money. And at the same time, Comcast is probably looking at its entire business model because people are cutting the cable, they're going elsewhere for their video sources and so on and so forth. So, I can certainly understand this, but I just think as long as we're able, and I know you all, the council staff and the outside attorney are doing all they can to kind of preserve what we have right now, which is important, which is the franchise agreement, the funding that comes in as a result of the franchise agreement, but also these PEG stations, public, education, and government. We need to make sure they're preserved. So thank you for the work you're doing, and I guess we'll get an update after the first of the year, I would imagine, as commission members, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other commissioners have any questions or comments? Commissioner Parikh, do you have any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Anyone from the public? All right, seeing no hands raised. Are there any additional public comments? And seeing no hands raised, again, I want to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. If you ever have any questions or concerns, you can call us at our city council office at 302-576-2140. Again, our number is 302-576-2140. This time I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned.